This prison has a strange rule: prisoners must never wear shoes, while the guards all wear thick and heavy shoes. Should any prisoner dare to show any disobedience, the guards will then press a certain button. Said prisoner will immediately start to shudder and start to put on all kinds of difficult poses. Turns out there's electricity on the floor, and the shoes of the guards were all electricity immune ones. The guards warned the prisoners that there are 3 power levels, and what they just witnessed was merely the lowest level. The highest level of electricity can easily roast prisoners like a barbecue. Because of this, there are only 50 prison guards for a prison like this with 5,000 inmates. Although a prison, the inmates must work hard in factory nevertheless, to produce high-tech weapons for the empire. If a team can't meet its production goal, the whole team will be roasted by the electricity. Yet with the arrival of a new prisoner who swore he would break out, all things changed. This man's name is Ander. He runs into a group of mobs when he was out walking, and was mistaken for a thug too. He was hence sentenced to 6 months in prison. When he tried to appeal for not guilty, his sentence was prolonged 10 times, to that of 60 months. Having no other choice, Ander was sent on the plane, where he and the others were ordered to take off their shoes immediately. The prison they were sent to was among the 7 prisons floating on the ocean, surrounded by giant vortexes. The plane landed Ander and others in one of those prisons, and flew away. Prisoners are not allowed to wear shoes in this prison. 3 prison guards wearing heavy shoes suddenly walked toward Ander, alongside all the other inmates. They were ordered to hold their heads in their hands. Then the prison guards pressed the button, and Ander and others were immediately attacked by electricity. Ander was shaken so violently that it almost looks as if he was doing the street dance. The guards gave them a hard time. Turns out the entire prison floor is electrified. And that was just the minimum charge. The highest level is level 3. If you refuse to obey orders, you'd get roasted. The guard led them into the prison, which is a building of upper and lower structure. There are 7 floors and 7 workshops on each floor, 7 operating platforms per workshop, and 7 people were assigned to each platform. Ander was assigned to a workshop on the 5th floor. This place is more of a factory than a prison where every inmate works hard and fast. The guards took Ander to the workshop and left. The man in charge of the prisoners' work here is the supervisor. He's a prisoner himself, too, but he'll be out in just 200 days. The supervisor explained the content of the job to Ander, and told him that the last one would receive an electric shock. Obviously, nobody would want to have that. Hence there's no need for prison guards to actually be here to manage this prison. They'd only be here when there are new prisoners to be delivered due to the shortage of manpower. Off program. Back to work. Ander ended up getting assigned to platform 5. Looking at other inmates who work fluently, Ander was a bit dumbstruck. Want me to do this for the next 6 damn years? In your dream. But before a jailbreak could be done, he needs to know everything about this place first. Walking down the hall on the way back to the cell, inmates on different floors are far apart. In the corridor, prisoners use sign language to communicate messages. That's their only source of information. Obviously, something happened on the 2nd floor, but they were interrupted by the supervisor. Back in the cell, white light represents safety. The red light comes on after the white light flashes for 7 seconds. The whole floor will then be electrified. The temperature rose to 1000 degrees in an instant. There's no way a jailbreak could be carried out here. Looks like the workshop is the only option. The walls have everything an inmate may need to live, and a screen where the remaining time an inmate must stay here was shown. Normally, when it's time to eat, all that was offered was liquid food that can be sucked through a tube. Only hard-working inmates who manage to distinguish themselves may be given food with some taste. Everyone gathered around Ander and asked him why was he sent here. To which Ander said that he didn't do anything wrong. No one was surprised since lots of people had been jailed lately for no reason, and all prisoners have had their sentences doubled. They asked Ander if anyone out there knows about the doubling of sentences. Ander said he had never heard of it, to which one of the prisoners said that it's likely the Empire never intended to let anyone out to begin with, that they were meant to work here forever, till their death. The supervisor interrupted them and said that he wants no trouble here, lest to have his sentence prolonged when he was about to get out in just 200 days. At night, Ander was awakened by strange noises. Turns out, an inmate can't take this anymore and decides that it's better to kill himself. So he jumped on the floor and was instantly roasted. The other inmates, however, don't at all care about the fact that one of them is dead. Instead, they were all complaining that with one less workforce, the speed of work would be slowed down again, and every one of them would be punished for this. Looking at the numbers on the wall that represent his remaining time here, Ander decides that enough is enough. He will not sit idle anymore. But can he actually manage to break out from here? Look, new prisoners are coming once again. Ander watched the platform carefully. The guards had taser guns but neglected to wear their shoes. The guards are giving the rookie a show of their authority by attacking him with a taser gun, and stun the prisoner to the railing. but the prisoner managed to stand up again, holding onto the rail. Apparently, there's no electricity on the floor of the elevator, else they wouldn't have used the taser guns here. Anders saw a chance to escape, past the corridor again. The prisoner who knows sign language gets the message that something had went wrong on the second floor. The power went out for a few seconds and it was pitch black, but was soon recovered. Some speculate that everyone on the second floor was roasted. The supervisor, however, stopped him from going on. Anders asked the supervisor if he wanted to escape the prison, but the supervisor's sentence here is about to be finished, hence he didn't want any trouble. Anders soon realizes that the guards only care about how much work they do. They pay no mind to what they were talking about. When they went through the corridor again, everybody was talking about what happened last night. Everyone was convinced now that those 100 or so inmates on the second floor were all killed. Some then start to say that they'd never be free, that even if they somehow get out of here, they'd only trade one workshop for another. Angered, the supervisor hit that guy with his fist. He refuses to believe that his hope was false, yet he too was shaken, couldn't take it anymore. An older inmate who was about to get out passes out. The supervisor immediately called a doctor for him, and Anders stayed at his side. The doctor soon comes. He was also an inmate. The supervisor wants the doctor to save that old inmate. Yet instead, the doctor euthanized him and said that they'd all envy him in just a few days. Finally had enough. The supervisor demanded to know just what exactly happened on the second floor, sending the guards to fetch the body bag. The doctor then tells them that the guards had made a huge mistake. Instead of being released from here, a prisoner working on the 5th floor was instead sent to the 2nd floor when his sentence was done. Prisoners may never get out of here. The news spread quickly. Everyone now knows that those inmates on the 2nd floor were all killed, and that being released means in truth to rotate from one prison to another, till you tire yourself to death in work. Backing to the cell, the director finally relented and answered Anders' question about the strength of the prison guards, that there were 12 to 15 of them. He didn't want to spend his whole life in prison either. Anders' breaking out would be tomorrow, since when the old man dies, a new prisoner will be sent in to replace him. Back in the cell, everyone was asking about the old man. Couldn't take it anymore. The director finally tells the truth. He screamed that no one was getting out of prison. Nobody gets out of here alive. Everyone's emotions are inflamed. No one wants to sit still and await death, so they'd break out together. The next day, while inmates pretend to be working, they start to hide parts of work secretly, like a steel pipe. Anders managed to hide it behind his back while pretending to be in the bathroom. He sawed hard at the pipe and took out the steel pipe to pry the pipe open. Finally, waters come out of the pipe, just when the guards arrived with the new prisoners. The prisoners are about to escape. The guard was holding the new prisoner. The lifting platform slowly descends. Suddenly, 2 prisoners broke into a fight. The guard raised a gun and threatened them to stop. Anders took the opportunity to insert a steel pipe into the lifting platform and cut the wires to the lift platform. The lift platform is then stuck. Other inmates then jumped on the railing and pulled the lift down. The new inmate takes out a guard with a stun gun but was immediately shot dead by another guard. The supervisor then gave the order, and all the inmates picked up the parts and threw them at the guards. The 2 guards soon realized that they couldn't take on that many prisoners on their own. The water soon flowed into the workshop. One of the guards yelled at his colleagues to pull the switch, while the supervisor told everyone to hurry up to their desks. Although those who move slowly are roasted, the power grid was also short-circuited by water. With the threat of the grid out of the way, the supervisor gave the order, and all the prisoners rushed to the platform. Anders was the first to climb onto the platform. He tripped a guard with his leg and punched the guard unconscious. Grabbing the guard's gun, Anders quickly took out the rest of them. Then everyone climbed onto the platform while the water slowly permeates the other floors, where the other inmates still have no idea of what's going on. Anders hands out the guns to the prisoners, who then took out the rest of the guards on the 5th floor. Anders and the supervisor then went to the control room, while the others ran to other floors to tell other inmates the truth. That if you want freedom, now would be the time to come with them and fight for it. When Anders and the supervisor reached the control room, people there were already aware of the jailbreak and were about to turn on the entire grid. Anders and the supervisor burst in and threatened the leader to shut down all the power. When the leader refused to cooperate, the supervisor shot and killed a guard, which forces the leader to do as he commanded and shut down the power. After the mess, the light lit up again. That's an emergency power source. The supervisor then gave a fiery speech. All the prisoners now know the truth, that they can never get out, that the Empire will keep them here forever till they tire themselves to death. The only hope of getting out is to run for it right now. All the prisoners were running up like crazy. They all rushed to the exit. At this point, the remaining guards dare not make any move. They all hide like cowards, waiting for reinforcement from the Empire. Finally, the prisoners reach the exit, but outside is the endless ocean. Some decide to escape by jumping into the ocean. but the supervisor has no choice but to turn back, since he couldn't swim. Jumping down would be a death sentence to him. Ender, however, was pushed down the ocean before he could hear clearly. A crowd of people now swam frantically away towards the distance. Soon after, Imperial reinforcements arrived. Only Ender and another inmate managed to survive. They climbed the cliff to escape the Empire. Luckily, the flying ship didn't spot them. They saw a pair of fishermen on the ocean, then saw a flying ship not far away. So they rushed to the fly ship but were trapped by the net set up by the fishermen. Yet upon seeing Ander's prison uniform, the fishermen realized that they must be breakout prisoners. Turns out the fishermen also hate the Empire, since the Empire polluted the ocean and left them with no fish to catch. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. The fisherman gathered up his net and set them free. They were then put on the flying ship and flew away. Ender was finally free. The end. The name of this TV show is Ender. The question this time is, when you were at home, do you enjoy walking barefooted, or do you prefer to have your socks on? Type 111 if you prefer barefooted, and type 222 if you prefer to have your socks on. This TV show is a spin-off of the Star Wars series, an attempt to view the events of the Star Wars series from a different point of view. If you are interested, feel free to watch the original TV show. And remember to leave kudos for K and subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time. Bye bye.